a Dutch director who shocked Hollywood, outraged critics, terrified studios, and walked away with one of the most unpredictable careers in cinema history. Brilliant, provocative, unapologetic. But how did a boy who grew up in Nazi-occupied The Hague become one of the most controversial filmmakers of the modern era? This is the story of a director who never played it safe. Paul Verhoeven. Born in 1938 in Amsterdam, but grew up in The Hague during one of the darkest chapters in European history. As a child, he saw war up close. The neighborhood where he lived was near a German V-2 rocket launch site. Allied bombings targeted the area. Explosions, fear, chaos. He later said that witnessing destruction at a young age shaped his fascination with violence, power, and survival, themes that would echo through his films. War wasn't something he studied. It was something he survived. Verhoeven didn't begin in film. He studied mathematics and physics at Leiden University. Analytical, precise, a scientist. After serving in the Royal Netherlands Navy, he began directing training films for the military. That was the turning point. He realized he could combine discipline with imagination. Soon, he entered the Dutch television and film world, and he did not enter quietly. In 1973, Verhoeven exploded onto the Dutch film scene with Turkish Delight. Raw, erotic, emotional. It became one of the most commercially successful Dutch films ever made. Then came Soldier of Orange in 1977, a World War II resistance drama starring Rutger Hauer. It wasn't patriotic fantasy. It was morally complex, messy, human. The Netherlands had never seen films like this. Verhoeven wasn't just making movies. He was challenging comfort. By the mid-1980s, Verhoeven made a radical move. He went to Hollywood. Studios expected a European art director. What they got was a subversive satirist. In 1987, RoboCop hit theaters. On the surface, a violent sci-fi action film. Underneath, a savage satire of corporate America and media culture. It was a massive success, and Hollywood had no idea what to do with it. Then came Total Recall in 1990. Big budget, bigger ambition. Memory, identity, paranoia, wrapped in explosive science fiction. It was a hit, but nothing prepared the world for 1992. Basic Instinct, the film that shocked audiences, triggered protests, and made Sharon Stone a global icon. Controversial? Absolutely. Successful? Undeniably. Verhoeven had reached the peak, or so it seemed. Then came 1995. Showgirls. Savaged by critics. Financial disappointment. Verhoeven became Hollywood's cautionary tale. But he didn't retreat. In 1997, he released Starship Troopers. On the surface, Space Marines versus alien bugs. Underneath, a biting satire of fascism and militarism. Audiences didn't get it at first, but time would change that. The fall wasn't the end. It was a transformation. After years in Hollywood, Verhoeven returned home. In 2006, he directed Black Book, a World War II thriller about resistance, betrayal, and survival. It became one of the most successful Dutch films ever made, and critics who once dismissed him began reconsidering. Maybe he wasn't reckless. Maybe he was fearless. Most directors slow down in their later years. Verhoeven escalated. In 2016, he directed Elle, a psychological thriller in French. It received global acclaim. Then in 2021, Benedetta, Religion, Power, Desire, premiered at Cannes, still controversial, still uncompromising. Even in his 80s, he refused to soften. Paul Verhoeven's career is not a straight line. It's a battlefield. He has been celebrated, condemned, misunderstood, vindicated, science fiction, thriller, war film. He uses genre as a weapon to expose hypocrisy, to challenge power, to force audiences to confront discomfort. And maybe that is his greatest success. Not awards, not box office, but impact. He didn't just make films. He made arguments. And the world is still debating them. If you liked this episode, subscribe and tell me which Dutch success story we should cover next.